Hey guys, we have some shocking news today. DNC just changed the debate rules for Bloomberg. Let's see what happened and what Andrew Yang said about this change. And Donald Trump actually also commented on this as saying, this is totally rigged against Bernie Sanders. Right? The Democratic National Committee is drastically revising its criteria to participate in primary debates after New Hampshire, doubling the polling threshold and eliminating the individual donor requirement, which could pave the way for former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg to make the debate beginning in mid-February. Candidates would need to have earned at least 10% in 4 polls released from January 15th to February 18th, or 12% in 2 polls conducted in Nevada or South Carolina in order to participate in the February 19th debate in Las Vegas. Any candidate who earns at least 1 delegate to the National Convention in either the Iowa caucuses or New Hampshire primary will also qualify for the Nevada debate. So they just eliminated the individual donor threshold, which was used for the first 8 debates, including next week's debate in New Hampshire. Bloomberg is the only person who has refused to take donations from other candidates, from other individuals, which has thus far precluded his participation in any of the debates since he joined the race from late last year. So the argument from DNC spokesman, is that now that the grassroots support is actually captured in real voting, the criteria would no longer require a donor threshold, said Adrian Watson. The donor threshold was appropriate for the opening stages of the race when candidates were building their organizations and there were no metrics available outside of polling to distinguish those making progress from those who weren't. Okay, that sounds reasonable, but this is totally just for Bloomberg. Everyone can see that. Okay, whoever cannot see that is is blind, politically blind, because Michael Bloomberg is the only person saying I'm not taking any individual donations, and the reason he said is because he wanted to just fund his own campaign and showing that he cannot be bought for, right, by billionaires. But come on, you enter the race as one of the richest people in the United States. Okay, you are a billionaire. Okay, you have your own special interest. Okay, don't say that you do not represent special interest. Okay, just because you don't take donations from other people, and one can reasonably suspect that the reason that Bloomberg does not want to take individual donors is because he doesn't want to be on the debate stage, because he could easily have just made the debate stage. Okay, with his current polling, with the money he spent in TV ads, he could have easily made the debate stage. Okay, he could have easily reached the donor threshold, but he doesn't want to do that. Okay, there's a reason behind it. And if you recall that Cory Booker, previously, he led 9 presidential hopefuls to sign this letter to DNC to change the rule, right? He wanted the DNC to drop the donor threshold or change the qualifying threshold so that he or other less well-polled candidates could have the opportunity to talk to more people, more potential voters, and it was rejected. But this time, DNC changed the rule just for Bloomberg. What does that mean? Okay, and my suspicion was not unsupported. Okay, actually, if we listen to what Bloomberg said,
Mayor Bloomberg, who obviously decided not to participate in the endorsement process, would not come to interview. His argument being that he didn't have enough to say yet, that he had only put out 3 or 4 position papers. I tried to make the case pretty persuasively that this was an editorial board that perhaps knew him the best out of any group of opinion journalists in the country, and that we would have plenty to discuss with him with regards to his record in New York. And he decided instead to not participate and not to answer the tough questions we wanted to put to him.
Okay, so that is New York Times board, right, invited Michael Bloomberg to join this interview and the endorsement process, but he rejected. He said that he was not ready to talk about it. You're running for the president of the United States, and you are not ready. You don't have your policies, your talking points ready. How is that making you qualified? And that is probably the reason that he didn't want to meet the donor threshold, because he's not ready for the debate stage. Okay, it's as simple as that. And it's funny that DNC rejected Cory Booker's letter with signed by 9 Democratic presidential hopefuls to change the rule back then, and as a result, Cory Booker had to drop out the race, okay, because he couldn't make the debate stage and he couldn't speak to more people, more voters. He couldn't get enough money. But Michael Bloomberg, as a billionaire, is buying his way in with just hundreds of millions of dollars spending in TV ads and all those online ads, and then he just didn't want to talk to people. He didn't want to be on the debate stage. That's completely ridiculous, and that's why Donald Trump is saying, this is totally rigged against Bernie Sanders. President Trump, in an early morning tweet on Sunday, accused 2020 White House hopeful Michael Bloomberg of getting the Democratic National Committee to rig the election against Bernie Sanders. Many of the ads you're watching were paid for by mini Michael Bloomberg. He's going nowhere, just wasting his money, but he's getting the DNC to rig the election against Crazy Bernie, something they wouldn't do for Cory Booker and others. They're doing it for Bernie again, 2016, Trump tweeted. Meaning Mike is part of the fake news. They're all working together. In fact, Bloomberg isn't covering himself. Too boring to do, or other damages. Only Trump. That sounds fair. It's all fake news media, and that's why nobody believes in them anymore, Trump said in another tweet. An apparent reference to Bloomberg's eponymous media company opting not to cover the former New York City mayor's campaign. Bloomberg has used his personal wealth to blanket the airwaves with ads, including one set to air during the Super Bowl on Sunday evening, touting his record on gun control. On Friday, DNC announced that it would remove the fundraising threshold from the debate qualification, giving Bloomberg a chance to take the stage at the next debate in Nevada. So, yeah, this is one of the few events that I would actually agree with Donald Trump, okay? And Andrew Yang also commented, the DNC changing its debate criteria to ignore grassroots donations seems tailor-made to get Michael Bloomberg to the debate stage in February. Having Americans willing to invest in your campaign is a key sign of a successful campaign. Tom Steyer said in a statement, let's make one thing clear. Changing the rules now to accommodate Mike Bloomberg and not changing them in the past to ensure a more diverse debate stage is just plain wrong. The Democratic Party should be doing everything possible to ensure a diverse field of candidates. Instead, they're changing the rules for a candidate who's ignoring early stage voters and grassroots donors. And Trump, in a third tweet, okay, Trump is the king of tweets. Third tweet, Sunday morning claiming that Bloomberg is negotiating to use a lift during the debates. This is something done, but really unfair, he added. Mike is now negotiating both to get on the Democratic primary debate stage and to have the right to stand on boxes or lift during the debates. This is something done, but really unfair. Really not fair. Oh. Trump also discussed Bloomberg during an interview with Fox News host Sean Hannity, scheduled to air during the Super Bowl. Now he wants a box for the debates to stand on. Okay, it's okay. There's nothing wrong. You can be short. Why should he get a box to stand on? Okay, he wants the box for the debates. Why should he be entitled to that, really? Does that mean everyone else gets a box? Trump added that Senator Cory Booker and all these people couldn't get any of the things that Bloomberg is getting now. I think it's very unfair to the Democrats, he said. But I would love to run against Bloomberg. I would love it. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, Trump is tweeting about all these people that he is not afraid of, okay? So, the only one he didn't dare to tout about is Andrew Yang, okay? Andrew Yang is the only one that Donald Trump actually fears about, okay? Trump fears Yang. All right, let's hear what Andrew Yang said about this.
Michael Bloomberg, I talked to Mayor Pete about that as well. He's starting to eclipse you in some of the states coming up, and he's going to be, for the debates after New Hampshire, the DNC has changed the rules. They've dropped that donor requirement, something you've actually been pushing for an awful long time, so that Mayor Bloomberg will be able to participate. Bernie Sanders argues that that's rigging the system for a billionaire. What's your response?
Oh, it's so interesting, George, because the fact is, Mike Bloomberg could have gotten himself on the debate stage anytime he wanted. It's pretty straightforward to meet the donor requirement. He could have just made that happen through online spending. And so I'm not sure this is a development that he's going to welcome, frankly. I think the DNC looked at this and said, we need to get Bloomberg on the debate stage. This change is clearly tailor-made to deliver him to the debate stage. And the question is whether this is a move that Mike's excited about or whether Mike's indifferent to or even negative towards.
You excited about debating him?
I'm excited. I'm thrilled I'll be back on the debate stage next week in New Hampshire, and we plan to be on the debate stage the entire way. So I expect to see Mike on the stage in Nevada the following, I think it's a week or two.
Yeah, we are going to see you Friday night in New Hampshire.